Welcome YouTube world. Welcome YouTube world. Today is June 18th, and today I'm talking boxing. This is my recap from this weekend's boxing card in MGM Las Vegas between Gervonta Davis, Frank Martin. Also the undercard between David Benavidez versus Olexander Gyvodk. I hope I'm saying his name right. I may have gotten his name wrong. I apologize. But anyway, this is my recap from this weekend's fight, the main event and co-main event. Co-main event, we'll start there. David Benavidez. Also, by the way, thank you for coming to this channel, Netta27. Hit the like button and subscribe. And once again, going back to the co-main event between David Benavidez versus Olexander Gyvodk, for the WBC Interim Light Heavyweight Championship. The fight went 12 rounds. David Benavidez won a unanimous decision, 12-round unanimous decision over Alexander Gyvodk. Now, my assessment of the fight. The first 6 rounds, David Benavidez was cooking. He was landing shots, body shots, head shots. Never really had Gyvodk in trouble, but had him a little buzz a couple of times, just a couple of times. Not in no danger of going down or getting knocked out, but he definitely got his attention those first 6 rounds. The last 6 rounds, I think David Benavidez kind of wore down a little bit. I think maybe he came in a little bit heavier than he used to coming in, rehydrating because he fought a bigger guy. Gyvodk looked like he weighed at least 210 pounds. He was definitely bigger. He definitely rehydrated and he's cut. He's all muscle. So you can see that obviously David Benavidez was fighting a bigger fighter who could take David Benavidez punches a lot better than the super middleweights that David Benavidez has fought. So he's fighting a bigger guy. And my assessment is, as far as David Benavidez' performance, I give him an 8 out of a 10. I know he hurt his hand or had a like ligament trouble in his left hand, and we saw at the press conference how bruised his right hand was. So that's a legitimate argument as to why he couldn't get Alexander Gyvodk out of there. But nonetheless, it was a great performance by David Benavidez. Even though he didn't get the knockout, he got the victory. It was clear cut. I had it 8-4 for David Benavidez. My only question is for David Benavidez, what he said after the fight. I'm concerned about him wanting to go down to 168. I feel like that's going to create too much tension on your body as you get older. You can't be yo-yoing up and down weight classes. That's not a good. Uh, that's not a good probability for success. It's not when you're going up and down weight classes. You got to decide whether you're going to stay here or there as you get older, because your body's not going to be able to adjust to going up and down weight classes, and eventually it's going to catch up with you. I hope his father talks to him and explains that to him. Physically, is not a good idea. Oh, I want to go back and win another championship at 168, whether it's Canelo or whatever. Not a good idea. You have to commit to one weight class or another as you get older, because you get bigger. You start to fill out. Your body starts to fill out. Not a good idea to drain yourself to go back down 7 to 10 pounds just to make a weight class. And Canelo, more than likely, is not going to fight you because he don't want no smoke. He's been called out for over 3 years with David Benavidez, and he shows that he don't want to fight. He don't think he can win the fight, and he don't want no smoke with David Benavidez. We all know that. Even though we want to see the fight, we know Canelo just want easy fights where he can get paid. He don't want no serious challenges. He don't. And it's been proven over the last 3-4 years with David Benavidez being the mandatory contender for Canelo 168-pound championship, his mandatory in the WBC. because the kowtow to Canelo has not enforced it and stripped him of the belt. So we all know that. All real boxing fans know that. So we know what's up. Forget about the Canelo fight. Concentrate on 175. My advice to David Benavidez: let your hands heal. Fight another 6 months. End of the year, next year, come back strong with your punching power, and you'll be all right. Now, let me get to the main event: Gervonta Davis, Frank Martin, which was a good fight while it lasted. Gervonta Davis was victorious, 8th round knockout. Um, I had going into the 8th round, I had Frank Martin up 4-3 in rounds. I felt he was winning the fight. He was effective what he was doing. He was tagging Gervonta coming in. Gervonta coming up with the high guard, trying to walk him down. Wasn't really landing a lot of shots, but he was landing some shots, but they were minimal as far as damage. But in the 8th round, he caught Frank Davis in the corner, and Frank Davis stayed in the corner. I'm sorry, Frank Martin. Frank Martin. My bad. Frank Martin. Frank Martin stayed in the corner too long and got clipped with one shot that stunned him, and then he got clipped with another shot that set him down. And that was it. And that's on Frank Martin because previous rounds, his trainer, Derrick James, told him to stay out of the corners. Stay out of the corners. He told him that. And what happened? He got trapped in the corner. He didn't get out the corner. He stayed in the corner too long, and he got dropped, and he got KO'd. So that's on Frank Martin. That's on Frank Martin. You know what I'm saying? In that situation, you either got to press forward and hold or spin your way out. Don't stay there taking punishment and you're not squared up. You don't know where the shots are coming from. And he got KO'd by Gervonta. And we all know Gervonta Davis hits hard. So that's on Frank Martin. That's his mistake, and he paid for it, and he got knocked out. But that's what I predicted. I predicted Frank Martin would be ahead going before he got knocked out. Irregardless what a scorecard said, I have Frank Martin winning the fight 4-3 going into the 8th round. And so now, what's next for Gervonta Davis? Okay, well, Subriel Matisse lost his title in the 140-pound division. So now it's Shakur Stevenson, Pitbull Cruz for Gervonta to unify. He called up, I think he mentioned Lomachenko in the post-fight interview. Well, it's about time for Gervonta to step his game up. It's time for a big, big fight. It's time for either Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson. I'm not going to say Devin Haney. I don't know if Devin Haney is going to stay at 140. I think he's outgrown the weight class. So I don't see that happening. And also, after we saw the video of Devin Haney dominating Gervonta Davis over 6 rounds recently, when Devin Haney was 17 years old, that fight wouldn't end well for Gervonta Davis, according to how he got dominated during that sparring session. So those are his 2 or 3 options: Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson, move up and fight Isak Pitbull Cruz, Piero, who beat Matias. That's not really all that. Teofimo Lopez, that's another option. So we'll see what Tank does next. He has to step up. Tank Davis is almost 30 years old. He has to step up and fight somebody big name. You know, no more Frank Martins. All right, now it's time to step up and fight somebody big. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's not necessarily his fault. I think Floyd protected him early in his career. He didn't probably feel like Gervonta Davis was ready for Vasily Lomachenko, because Vasily Lomachenko was calling out Gervonta Davis over 6 years ago, and that fight never happened. So we'll see what happens now that Vasily Lomachenko has a belt at lightweight, and there could possibly be a unification match. So we'll see what happens now. We'll see if Gervonta really step up and fight a top-notch fighter. like a Vasily Lomachenko or a Shakur Stevenson. So that remains to be seen. We saw what he did against Isaac Pitbull Cruz. He barely won that fight. I didn't feel he won that fight. I felt that fight was a draw. He did not win that fight. He never hurt Cruz. Cruz kept coming at his ass, took everything he threw at him, and was bringing it. He's bringing the heat the whole fight, the whole 12 rounds. Gyvodyk had no effect at all. His punches had no effect at all on Isaac Pitbull Cruz. So Gyvodyk don't want to go that route. It's either Shakur Stevenson or Vasily Lomachenko. It's time to start trying to be great by fighting great fighters. Not no more Frank Martins. No more Frank Martins for Gervonta Davis. So if you want to be the face of boxing, you got to fight the best. You got to fight the best. That's it. That's it. That's what all the greats done. And Gervonta has yet to fight one great. So we'll see what Gervonta Davis does next. I'm curious. We'll see what happens, and we'll see. But that's all I got. This is Netta27 at Netta27 Sports TV. This is my channel where I talk mainly boxing. I do sprinkle in a little football and basketball. But that's all I got. Hit the like button, subscribe. Feel free to leave your comments. If you agree or disagree, that's cool. Just be respectful, and I'll get back with you. Enjoy your work week. That's all I got. Peace.